Before we start the show, I want to apologize. You don't get to see our handsome faces for this week. There was a camera malfunction, but this problem will be resolved for episode 2. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to the third Floor Esch podcast here at the University of Indianapolis in Esch Hall on the third floor. A podcast from comm students for comm students, interviewing comm students, all about the comm department here at the University of Indianapolis. I am Dylan Euler.
I'm Evan Porterfield.
And welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm great. This is exciting.
This is very exciting.
Really cool. Like starting anything new is always like the best. And
we
then seeing the outcome throughout the time.
That like motivation to start.
Yes.
You just gotta
I'm hyped.
Keep it consistent. Yes.
So
it should be a good show. So every single episode we're gonna kind of format it this way. Evan, tell us how we are formatting the show.
So we're kind of focusing, we're gonna have guests on the show. That's the ultimate goal. This episode we're the guests. But throughout time we're gonna have guests. And it's going to be kind of like focusing on the past, present, and the future. So figuring out, what they did in the past, how they got to where they are now, what they're doing now, and then what they hope to do in the future.
Exactly. So we're going to have a lot of fun guests on this episode moving forward, mostly comm department based.
Yes.
Students, faculty, staff.
Yeah.
Everybody, anybody. Like I said, a comm show for comm students. Yeah. So
you who might be watching might be on the show.
Exactly. Let us know.
It's cool.
Be sure to reach out to us. Our handles, our social medias are somewhere you can find it.
Hit us up in the DMs.
We know you can find it. Be sure to reach out to us.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself. This episode is introducing us to the viewers as your hosts.
Yeah.
Tell me, what is Evan Porterfield?
Oh, great question. Well, as everybody knows, comm major. Public relations, media. I like a little bit of both, so I couldn't really decide. I had to do both.
So media is digital media?
Digital media,
like what is the emphasis technically called?
Well, it was called
like multimedia, right?
Like multimedia. What was it called? I don't know what it's called, but now they call it media.
Okay, so it's just
it was
media.
digital media, and now it's called media.
Okay.
So that's your television, that's your radio.
Okay.
I'm definitely more on the visual end. I like television. I like putting together things and seeing the outcome from what I made.
Agreed.
And radio, you can do that, but
you're a visual product kind of person.
I'm a visual product, and you got the audio and you got the video and TV.
Exactly.
You're getting a little bit best of both worlds.
Exactly.
I enjoy that. For those who know, you can see me on the third floor of Esch all the time. I'm a part of Top Dog. I'm an account executive there, and then of course I'm in television as the post-production producer. So always here. I like to say I live here. This is my home.
Second home.
It feels
Third
like
home.
my home. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've slept on the couch.
Oh, man.
So who hasn't, right?
I guess.
There's so many couches here.
There's so many pictures of us sleeping on the couches.
Yeah, the infamous picture like pop up in group chats sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah, so
you caught me today.
Yeah, and outside of what I do here, I enjoy cooking. I enjoy roller coasters.
Favorite dish to cook?
Chicken parmesan.
Chicken parm?
Yeah.
A little crispy chicken parm? Grilled chicken parm?
No, crispy chicken, like fried, battered fried, dude. So good. And I can make a good eggplant too. So if you're a vegetarian, I'll make you
all
either
inclusive.
Or. Yes, but dude, so good.
Okay, Chef Porterfield.
And then I love roller coasters.
Okay.
Favorite
roller coaster you've ever been on?
Oh. Dang.
And where is said roller coaster?
So right now, I think it's Sky Rush at Hershey Park.
Where's that at?
It's in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
So it's the Hershey, like the chocolate. They have like a amusement park, actually.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's really cool. And mostly everything there is themed to candy. But this one's just themed to like the sky.
What's it called again?
Sky Rush.
Sky Rush. Okay.
It's like this giant like yellow roller coaster, and the lift like moves you so fast, and you basically get launched on a lift, and then you just
crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like one of the first roller coasters I rode that I was like, actually just feeling uncomfortable, like in the amount of craziness. But like it was fun. I got off and I was like, whoa.
I have a weird relationship with roller coasters. I was never into them when I was younger. I was never really like a thrill junkie. I still am not really. I'm not a big like adrenaline junkie, if you will. But a little bit later in life, I kind of forced myself to get over that fear because I think I just graduated high school and I was like, I'm so over like going to these amusement parks and just like not doing anything. You know, being in band, being in marching band, we had gone to amusement parks, we've gone to Disney World, whatever.
Of course.
And I just never rode anything because I didn't want to.
Right.
And I was like, I gotta get over this. So I forced myself, and my oldest sister actually got me, and she brought me to Six Flags, Great America, in Gurnee, Illinois.
Been there, love it.
Great, fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic.
We went, we rode everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was so fun, and I was like instantly, I'm like, this is awesome. Like, why was I being such a baby before? Like, I wish someone would just like force me to go on earlier, because like it's so great. And like, I don't like heights, and I'm getting better about it, but I still sometimes I'm like, whoa, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's weird because when you get older too, you revisit the theme park that you once went to as a child.
Yeah.
And you see the roller coaster, you're like, that kind of looks small.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That
right. You're
small.
like,
I'm
a little more roomy earlier.
Yeah. Well, this begs the question though, Dylan.
Okay.
What's your favorite roller coaster?
So I don't have the catalog that you do, I imagine. I don't remember the name of it, but it was the first ride that I rode at Six Flags. It was the first one they took me on. We walked in the main entrance, and like the Six Flags in Gurnee kind of like loops around this main like lake. Yeah. I'm pretty sure if I'm remembering it right. And it's the one right on the right. It's the first one. And we like, our goal was to just boom, 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 one after the other. Mm-hmm. And so it's the first one there. It's like one of their oldest ones, and it shoots you off, like you said. You go way up and you come around and you come down and like, you know, you get a little more ride. But it's like one of the ones where it shoots you real fast out the gate. You scream up this and come back down. Yeah. And I remember like going up and like we were at the top and like it's like, ooh, you know, before it takes you down. And I remember like, whoa, we're really high up right now. And then I'm screaming down and I'm like, this is awesome. And so I was just like, I'm like instantly got over it. It was like that. I think it's the tallest roller coaster there. Which is so weird as a person that doesn't like heights. The tallest one's my favorite. Yeah. I don't know, but it was just like an instant like gratification of like getting over that fear. And it was like, yep, I can have fun the rest of the day. My day's not ruined.
I've been on that one. It's embarrassing because I pride myself on knowing the name of a roller coaster, but I just can't remember it right now. Also, the wood one they have there. Yeah. Like the all wooden one. Yeah. Really cool. I think that's the Screaming Eagle. Something like that. Don't quote me, but it's something good. Like that. It's one of their oldest ones, and it's like all wood, and you can like feel it creak sometimes. Oh, when you're I love those because you're listening to the wood rattle, and I'm like, feel a part of the roller coaster. Yeah, you're like, oh, this is antique, but when was this thing checked? Right. When's the last time they repaired this? So yeah, roller coasters are fun. Yeah, for sure. They're now fun. For sure. If you're scared of roller coasters, ride a roller coaster, and you'll get over it. Just do it. Hopefully, you'll get over it. So Dylan, I think you need to tell us a little bit about yourself. About myself. Well, I am also a communications major. I'll be graduating here at the end of May, or at the beginning of May, I should say, with my degree in communications, with a sports information focus, or path emphasis, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I am currently the director of game day communications with our sports information department here at UIndy. That's really cool. Basically, what that means is me and my co-student manager, there's two of us over there, we handle a lot of the media, photography, videography, social media that they do over at UIndy Athletics. So we provide them with pretty much all of the, I guess, just photo, video, all that kind of stuff that they need and that they want. And it's fun. I mean, it's great. Yeah. It's what I want to do. It's kind of, I found my calling through it. And, you know, sports photography, sports social media, it really combines a lot of what I know, my background. For those who don't know, I transferred to UIndy in the fall of 2023 from my previous school. And so, second year here, and, you know, not everyone's on the same path, but I finally found, like, what I
really want to do.
Yeah.
And it's in the world of sports, social media, creating things like you said.
Yeah.
And
And for all the commies who are watching,
all the commies.
all the commies, as Lou likes to say.
Okay.
Who don't know, that's a class that you did that through, and
Yes.
it's a fairly new class. So maybe tell them a little bit about it, because they might enjoy the same thing.
Exactly. So those of you who are interested in learning more about the operations, whether it be social media work, whether it be game day operations, doing things like keeping stats, working an actual game, sports communications, experiential sports comm is a newer class. The first ever year of it was spring of the 23-24 23-24 year. And then in the summer of 24, when we kind of had our whole rebrand, right? They changed it to experiential. Everything was experiential, and we totally just revamped the class. That's when they added on the student managers over at the sports comm major. As you guys have managers for TV and radio and PR and journalism, we now have our own student managers for sports comm. And so that class is all about just getting experience working within sports. Whatever you want to do, there's a spot for it. It's really about figuring out what you like within sports, trying things out, whatever you enjoy to do, whatever you like to do more of it.
Yeah.
There's no real hard curriculum. We want people to try a bunch of different things, but if you find a niche within working in sports that you really like, we're going to allow you to dive into that niche. My niche being taking pictures and doing social media, creating videos, creating reels, creating graphics.
Yeah.
Anything you want to do within sports, there's something to do.
Yes. And I'm in that class, and I love it. We're going to talk a little bit more about that class.
Okay.
On the agenda. It's on the agenda.
It's on the agenda. It's on our paper. It's
a really good class.
It is. So. It's a fun class. I don't want to say it's an easy class, because I hate to give off the notion that it's a blow off class, but it is one of those classes where you'll get as much out of it as you put into it.
Yes.
And we have a minimum that you need to do, because every class needs a bottom line to pass the class, but that's not the point of the class. It's an experiential class. You should be trying your best to do what you want to do within the class.
Yes.
That's the point.
I feel like that's almost the whole major, right?
That's what comm is.
You can come in and you can blow everything off and just take it nice and easy, but
C's get degrees.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you want to do something in this field, you're gonna have to apply yourself, and I think UND gives us a lot of opportunities to do that for sure.
For sure. I definitely think that we're in a really unique position where our school is pretty large. I think we have a large following, right? Where your stuff can grab attention in the Indianapolis market, things like that. But we're not big like IU or Butler or Purdue, where you're a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like that at all. If you want to do something and you really put your effort into it, it's not just about being the class favorite, being the top dog at your individual thing. Anybody and everybody can get recognition and opportunity here.
100%. I mean, you can create your own opportunities here.
Exactly.
Which is fantastic, because a lot of these big schools, people have already made that opportunity.
Yeah.
You want to do a sports production.
Yeah.
Somebody's already done that. But here you can kind of just make things happen.
Yeah.
And
if I had transferred in, as I did, into my junior year.
Yeah.
To a larger school like an IU or a Purdue or Butler, other schools in this area that are D1 that are 70,000 students, right? It would be such a small fish in a big pond situation where, odds are I would just skate by, not get the real opportunity that I am here, and just kind of graduate with no real resume, no real portfolio, no real proof that I actually did anything in school. I just got a piece of paper and went, I was taught, I promise, so
totally.
I think it's a unique opportunity.
100%. And Dylan, I feel like kind of what we're talking about maybe leads into a little bit of another thing, which is why we created this podcast.
Okay.
And in my perspective, this podcast is an opportunity for some of those people in our comm community who maybe are a little bit newer or maybe they've been here for a little bit, but they want to figure out some different avenues, and they can now hear from some of the professors, adjuncts, or even students who are here applying themselves.
Exactly.
You know, kind of building a foundation for the future. And so, you know, that's kind of what I think this podcast is going to be about, is learning from others and maybe trying to take a couple pointers and apply it to your curriculum.
And not only that, but like when we interview these guests, we're interviewing, you know, professors and staff members within the comm department to learn more about not only them, but about what they can provide for a prospect student, right? As, I hate to bring it up so much, but as a transfer student looking to figure out where I wanted to go, it's so easy to just read a website and go, okay, cool. They've got all these things. And I almost want to say I lucked out getting here, because, I mean, every school is awesome according to their website and their brochures, right? Every school offers this, that, and the other. But who's to say that I would have gotten this kind of opportunity at any of the other schools that I was looking
100%.
at? So I think it would be awesome to hear more and more in depth from professors as to like not only what they can do, what students can do here, but what we're looking to do in the future, what they can do if they come here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and you know, we also want to like create a platform to help us feel more connected to our community. Yeah. You know, we're going to hear from our professors, our adjuncts, our people that maybe we don't really know very well. Yeah. We know them inside of class, but we're going to kind of get to know them, their past, present, and future, then the deeper level. And so, you know, we kind of can feel a little bit more connected. And for sure. It's good. Yeah. We're humanizing each other. We're humanizing each other. Yes. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to some of the interviews we have lined up. Yeah. And some of the guests that we've already talked to a little bit. And everyone seems excited about what this could be and what this will be. 100%. Not could be, will be. Speaking into existence. We'll see you next time. We'll see you next time. Although, don't leave. Don't leave. No, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. That sounds like an outro. We can't do that. No. Everyone's clicked off. Never again. So, talking to each other a little bit, learning more about each other, what we want to do in the future. We kind of talked a little bit about what we're doing now, right? As comm majors, as someone who's graduating soon, as someone who's graduating next year. What does the next 5 to 10 years look like for you after graduation? What are you doing now to set yourself up for success in the future? Because that's very important. As a comm major, a lot of your work is preparing yourself for what you want, right? And it's a lot of self-advocating. Yeah. So tell me, what are you doing now to set yourself up? No, I mean, like you said, quite frankly, we're in a saturated field of just lots of stuff. Yeah. And people and lots of jobs, options. You know, it's competitive out here. And I'm trying to do as much as I can in college. I've kind of came in and it's just like, you know what? If I don't have a life for 4 years and my life is the Esch third floor, the third floor, that's Esch. Okay, because hopefully when I get out of here, boom, job. You know, like you hope. And you hope. We're crossing fingers. So, you know, I last summer I got an internship at the White River State Park. I love that. Okay. What did you do for them? It was events. Okay. And I like tourism, so it's a lot of attractions, museums. The White River State Park, beautiful park, downtown Indianapolis. Okay. It contains multiple museums. It has our zoo and the Everwise Amphitheater, which is one of the largest concert venues in Indiana. Okay. So, you know, I got to kind of work for those attractions and be an events person, work with the events team, and kind of coordinate some of the biggest events that happen in Indianapolis, which was really cool, and just being like on the inside perspective. So I want to do something again this summer. I'm going to try to look for another internship job, similar events. And would you look to go back for a second summer with White River? I would go back. I definitely would go back, but I'd also want to expand my portfolio a little bit in some other companies. So I hear that. Is events, so was it event operations? Was it like event PR, event marketing? So they called it an event intern. Okay. But what you did is, it was interesting. It actually was not what I was expecting. Okay. I thought I was going to be planning events and helping them plan events and coordinating that. But it ended up that we're more of a facility that people rent. And so we worked with some of the largest events like Indie Pride, which had like 60,000+ people.
Crazy.
And so we'd work with their team and, you know, figure out what they need in order to be successful, like provide them everything. It's very, you know, hands-on, and then you go to the event and you make sure that they're following the rules, and we fine them if they don't, you know, do what they're supposed to. But I did that, and then I also got to plan my own event. So they helped fund one of my events.
What was your event then?
I made the White River State Park Back to School Festival.
Okay.
So since it was, you know, we were going back to school, I was like, let's do something kind of back to school related. And so I put a little bit of philanthropy to that. And I partnered with a local donation center that donates school supplies called Teachers Treasures. Okay. So it was kind of just like
almost like capstone project. That's what it sounds like, a capstone project to your internship.
Yeah, it was really cool. And, you know, I wanted to do something that was like useful for the community. So we just we had free, like large inflatable games. Like it was really cool, and just put them on this giant lawn, and so the community could come out and play games, and then just donate school supplies and money to charity. It was awesome.
It sounds a lot like, if you're a scout, you know, your Eagle Scout project, which is a community-based project where you have to do something. It's usually outdoor related, but it's something to improve the community around you. Yeah. It sounds very much like that.
Yeah, and you know, I had an internship and I could have done anything, and I just figured, you know, they're giving me some money, I might as well try to do something good with it.
Let's help the kids.
Let's help the kids.
Let's help the kids.
Help the children. And the children need it, okay? They need the school supplies, no, but also like teachers are having to buy their own school supplies. I think I was just watching the news one day. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, teachers are having to buy their own school supplies?
Crazy. Which is so crazy. Like you would think that the schools would provide those kinds of things, but
yeah. And it's just like an aha moment, you know, like, oh, I'll just make an event.
I'll just make an event.
Let me just cook up something real fast.
Yeah. As a chef.
As a chef. So, I mean, that's who I am. I enjoy events. I enjoy tourism. I enjoy media. I love media a lot. And so it's kind of...
You like a lot of things. A man who wears many hats.
Exactly.
Many hats.
What type of hats do you wear, Dylan?
What type of hats do I wear? Yeah. I wear media hats. I love media. I love creating things, like you said. I was a graphic design major for my first 2 years of school. Going through, like, growing up and everything, I always wanted to be an animator. Funny enough, I was always an artsy kid. I was always drawing. I was always doodling, whatever, right? And so I really enjoyed computer art, which kind of led into, like, oh, I want to be an animator. And, like, my dream when I was 14, right? You're thinking 7 years ago, was I want to make, like, movies, right? I want to be an animator at a big studio, and I want my name to be on those, you know, the credits that no one watches. I want my name to be up there with all the different animators, and I want to make things that in 50, 100 years go by, they're going to look back and be like, classic. Like, that's a classic. I want to be a part of something like that. I want to leave something behind that I worked on, that I was a part of. Yeah. You know, that's what my dream was for years. And then I realized animation is a really long process. Yeah. And I am not that patient. I like my product to work on, boom, 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 done. All right, it's gone. What's next? You know, and animation just isn't that. You're working on a movie for years. Yeah. Right? And you're working with the same characters, the same sets, the same set design, the same songs for months and years. And the industry is getting faster now. Movies are getting pumped out quicker, which is a whole nother topic. I think the quality of movies has gone down a little bit with the rapid production of movies, but
the same template every single time.
A little bit. But back then, when I was, like, dreaming, you know, looking more into it, I was like, okay, I want something a little more fast-paced, a little more snappy, right? So graphic design was just kind of there and kind of a placeholder my first couple of years. Was taking a bunch of gen ed classes, but during kind of this late high school, first couple of years of college, I was falling in love with sports, fell in love with football again, right? And was like, well, this love for sports isn't going anywhere, right? It's not leaving my mind. It's been like 5 years now. I gotta find something that's gonna merge this desire and this passion to create things and be creative with this love for sports and watching sports and just knowing about sports.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what can I mesh together? And so that's where I found sports journalism, sports communications, sports media as the major that I wanted to go after.
Yeah.
And then from there, that was about, I would say, the late fall semester of my sophomore year. I kind of was like, all right, I need to make a move here because I got almost 2 years left of college and I'm not doing what I want to do, you know? And so then I started looking around and looking at schools and looking at transferring potentially because my school at the time, Aurora University, did not offer what I wanted. I loved the school. I loved the campus. It was great.
Yeah.
I have nothing against Aurora University. Go Spartans. But it just didn't offer what I was looking for. So it was tough. It was a lot of self-advocating, like we've said. Believe it or not, professors and teachers and staff don't want you to transfer from their school. And so when you ask teachers and faculty for recommendations, what's this for? Oh, I'm looking to transfer. Nah, we ain't gonna write you one. So it was a lot of just independent looking into things. Didn't really have anybody to lean on for advice, for helping me look into things, looking into schools. And so, I mean, it was just a lot of independent research, and fell across UIndy, toured here, came on a visit in April of 23. Where do I sign?
Yeah.
Where do I sign? So here now, about to graduate. It's been fun.
It's crazy.
It's been a crazy 4 years.
Yeah.
As I look back, well, 3.5 years. We're not done yet. You're just looking back. It's just been a really interesting ride, and I can't believe it's almost over.
I know.
Senioritis is hitting me.
Oh my
for
gosh,
sure.
I'm sure. I'm scared. I'm scared for mine.
It's bad.
I guess that kind of begs the question, like, you're about to graduate. What are you doing? Where do you see yourself?
So, where do I see myself? That's a great question. It is unfortunate that I found my calling within this like sports photography, sports social media world so late into college. My first 2 years, I didn't really do much in terms of like just going to class. Like I literally would just go to class and then go to work and then go home. Like I had no school life. I had no looking for a career, right? So you're applying everywhere. I couldn't tell you how many things I applied for, and it's not even just like sports photography. It's marketing, it's PR, it's kind of everything that's within my little bubble of like creating things. You know, what can I do? What can I apply? What I've learned and what I know to, right? All my knowledge in the Adobe softwares, all my knowledge in photography and graphic design, and everything that I've learned. How do I apply that to what I want to do? And so you make your resume, you visit your career centers, they help you out, and you apply. So we're in the process of that now, continuing to build my portfolio here at UND with all the opportunity that I get here to shoot sports, to make fun things, to make cool things. So hopefully it gets me somewhere, but you're just kind of rolling the dice a little bit.
Best of luck.
I am. I appreciate it.
Best of luck.
Hopefully we.
You don't need it though. You're gonna get it.
Hopefully we get something here. Worst case scenario, I move back home. But
now you have it in the bag. Easy.
It's locked in. Trust. Trust.
In.
5 months. That ain't nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
But yeah, no, we're just applying for a bunch of different things and throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks. Really, that's all you can do.
And that's I think you got it, especially what we do here at UND. You know, a lot of college students, I feel like, from what I've heard, they come out and they've got like an idea of what they want to do and what they've been learning about, but they haven't done it.
They don't get experience.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like here you can come and you can learn. Most universities you come and you learn about television. Yep. Here you come and you do television. Yeah. Or you do PR for nonprofits or take pictures and do all the sports info stuff.
You know that meme where it's like, you're just handing them a freaking packet, yo. You know that. You know that. That's like exactly what I'm thinking of. It's like you can't learn how to do this without doing it.
What a connection!
What a connection!
It's like kind of a recent coming up meme.
It is.
Everybody's talking about that right now.
It's growing.
That's hot. Yeah, no, they just hand them freaking packets.
Freaking packets, yo.
But here, we
do things. We do things.
So
experiential.
Yeah. So you already have a bit of a resume.
I'd like to think I do. I'd like to think I do.
I think you do.
It's all about building that portfolio, and your body of work is half of your resume, right?
Yes.
All these jobs and everything, they want your resume, they want a cover letter, which is whatever,
Yeah.
And they want a portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
They want links to your work. They want to see what you've done.
Right.
So, if you're in my position, everything I do gets posted. Everything I do is getting added to my portfolio. Whether, it's just some random shoot, whatever it may be, whatever you can do to continue adding and continue building.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you hone that down to your 10 best, right? Your 10 to 15 best pieces of work.
Yeah.
And you kind of have that in a separate document. Right. Now we're giving career advice. As someone who doesn't have a career, we're giving career advice. This is crazy.
I mean,
it's just what I've heard.
It's what we heard. And it's, and it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. And I think one thing that's really nice is, you're applying to jobs and you're reliable because of what we've done here. Like they've not only do you have a portfolio, like you said, look at all these pictures, but look at all these pictures, and it was actually posted, and it was like tagged in it, and like look at all these impressions and all these. You can't get that anywhere else.
Exactly, that's another thing where, here at UIndy, I'm able to connect my personal portfolio, my personal media Instagram page, with our UIndy athletics, our individual team accounts, right? When you're going to IU, Butler, right, the bigger schools, you're not even getting credited.
No.
In the post. You're not even in the caption down below, little camera emoji at your tag, right? You don't even get that. And so you're just posting on your individual, and you're just like double posting that picture. It's like, well, no, it's not going to get any traction. You're not going to get any of these athletes reposting your things. You're not going to get any parents, fans of the university, fans of athletics, and even just like other conferences, other schools in the area that, follow UIndy athletics are now seeing my work.
Yeah.
Because I'm not only tagged, I'm collaborated on that post. And so all of their retention only adds to my page too. And not that that's what it's about. I'm not trying to grow and be viral and like grow a massive following, but connecting your work to other entities, I believe is good.
Yeah. And it's really cool because I feel like all of our applieds do really well at crediting people for their work. And
I agree.
In some way, just putting their names on the things, like the reflector, if there's an image, you see the name. Or the writer, you see that. PR, obviously, your client meets everybody. So all of them, everybody gets credited some way, and it definitely pays off. I mean, in our sports comm class, we were talking to some photographers and some important people. We talked to somebody from the GLVC, and they knew you. So just it's cool, like that. Even somebody from the conference, knows
sees
you
my work and like can connect me with that because, I am the profile picture, right? Yeah. And when they see that profile picture, they see my face, they see my name. Boom, boom, boom. All the dots connect. Yeah. Oh, you are that. You did that work. You took those pictures at the GLVC, our conference championship for football. All those pictures you took of the players celebrating and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it is just important that you are credited for your work.
Yeah.
In this world.
100%.
For sure.
Well, and Dylan, this is a funny little segue, but I would say we're pretty cool people.
I would say it. I would hope so.
I would hope so. So, like, I guess, asking you.
Okay.
How did you get raised to be such a cool person?
A cool person.
What was home life like? Was mommy and daddy as cool as you were?
They're the coolest, man. They're the coolest. So, again, like I said, I transferred here. I'm not from here. I'm not from Indianapolis. Neither are you. We'll talk about you in a minute here.
Yeah.
But we'll let me yap. All right. So I'm from Aurora, Illinois. If you don't know where that is, Chicago, the suburbs of Chicago. Born and raised there. Grew up my whole life, in the suburbs. So I'm not really a city boy, but I'm not a country boy either. I'm right in that little sweet spot between. Yeah. I know country, I know city. I did a lot of outdoor activities when I was younger. I was always outside. I never wanted to be home. I never wanted to be just like sitting around at home. I always wanted to be out and about doing things with my friends, riding bikes, whatever it may be. Did a lot of camping, did a lot of swimming, biking around, just being outside, man. Yeah. If the weather was good, I was in it. I was in the weather. So, I like to credit a lot of just like who I am now to that upbringing. My parents, the way they raised me, to be kind, to be polite, to be a good person. Along with that, I was a scout for my whole life. You start scouting when you're in elementary school, you're in kindergarten. They kind of recruit you, and whatever school you go to is the troop that you're in, the whatever. And so the pack that you're in is what it's called in Cub Scouts. So I was in that all through elementary school. Made the Pinewood Derby cars. Didn't win any races. Went on campouts, did activities, got my merit badges. Went into, at the time, Boy Scouts. Now it's just Scouts of America.
Yeah.
But went through my scouting journey, learned tons of intangibles, things like leadership, things like hard work, living by the Scout law, living by the Scout oath. And so a lot of these things I still hold near and dear to myself. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, yada, yada, yada. All those commandments, if you will. Those are things that I still hold to myself, and I hold, to my standard of living and treating others, right? Yes. And so, eagled out of that. I'm an Eagle Scout. So, I would say a lot of that just kind of shapes who I am and who I hope to portray as. I hope others see me as, everything that a scout should be.
Yeah.
Right?
I see that in you.
You see that in me?
You're definitely Scout Dylan over
Scout.
here. Scout Dylan. Yeah. Well, believe it or not.
Tell me about you, Evan.
Was in the Boy Scouts.
Oh, you were in Boy Scouts.
I was in Boy Scouts.
So you were in Scouts.
Cub Scouts.
Okay.
Scouts. Sorry, I said Boy Scouts.
You did.
I meant Cub Scouts, guys.
So you didn't make it past elementary school.
So no, I ended up. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about myself.
Okay, let me tell you.
I ended up going to two schools.
Oh, two schools. Okay.
With how they, like you said, you go to the school and then that's just like the thing you're in. You become part of that Cub Scout group from the school.
Yeah.
Well, I ended up going to one, and then when I switched schools, I was like, just whatever. Yeah. But that's not a big part of my life. Let's talk about my life. So
okay, post move.
Post move. So I was born in Maryland, and I lived there for 5 years. It was a small part of my life, but I do love Maryland, and I've visited like practically almost every summer.
Is family still in Maryland then?
Family's still in Maryland.
Okay.
My dad's side.
Okay.
My mom's side was from Indianapolis area. So she wanted to move back to see her parents, and now my whole mom's family is here. My mom's sister was in Virginia, but they just moved over. So now everybody's
all over the place.
all over the place. So now everybody is here, and so I kind of consider that place home just because I've been there a lot.
You consider Maryland home?
I consider this place definitely more home.
Really?
That's kind of like my home away from home.
Okay.
I've been in Indiana much longer. I mean, I know Indiana very well, and so, I grew up here. I grew up in Carmel, which I know some people have many things to say. I don't know what you know about Dylan because
not much.
But people from Indiana don't like Carmel.
People don't like Carmel.
People don't like Carmel.
So tell me why they don't like Carmel and why they're wrong to not like Carmel, Indiana.
You know what? I'll actually give them credit for not liking Carmel. There's some. Carmel's nice. Carmel's nice. It's a nice part of the town, and so, it's very clean, good houses. Okay. Sidewalks everywhere.
Everywhere. There's walking space.
You walk around and it feels like the Truman Show.
Okay.
So I understand
just
why.
Like upper class.
Yeah. very
white,
just
white
like
picket fence America.
Yes.
Is Carmel.
Yes, and
Okay.
so
for those who are listening that are from my neck of the woods, think like Naperville. I don't know if you've heard.
I'm not familiar.
No. Okay, so Naperville is just like you said, the higher end.
Okay.
A little more bougie living.
Okay. Yeah. Carmel, it has bad vibes.
It has bad vibes.
Well, it has great vibes, but
It has stuck up
everybody
vibes.
else gives it bad vibes.
Okay. They're just jealous.
They're jealous. They're jealous. No, I lived in Carmel, so I love Carmel. I was in Carmel schools for a little bit. That just didn't work for me. I have dyslexia. Everybody who knows me, they know like I have really bad dyslexia. So I ended up going to a school that would help me with that, and I stayed there for a very long time. That was like a K through 12 school.
Okay.
So
and when did you go from your, I would say, just public education to
I switched.
what would you consider this school to be then? Like, I want to call it special needs, but I don't want to call it that.
No, it was they had a special approach to learning. It was just it's something called Orton Gillingham, which is just more like hands-on. So like they're like, you know what, like we can
You're
offer
not reading
you
from friggin' packets, yo.
No, but they like, smaller class sizes was like the benefit, and then also like that different style of teaching, which I really needed because I couldn't read, and sitting in a class of like 40 people, because Carmel schools are gigantic. Yeah. Just it did not work, and so I needed somebody to like help me.
Yeah. No, I just the smaller class size is good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better to not be in a giant lecture hall.
Yes.
Right. Would you rather be in a big lecture or a class of 15 to 25?
Yeah. I like the small sizes, and that's one of the reasons why I came to UND. But I think growing up because I lived most of my life just being in that private school and just having like that small community. I mean, my graduating class was 12 people.
Oh my, what?
Yeah, 12 people.
12?
12.
I had like 1,000.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So I'm very used to like small communities and keeping like a small group of people around me, and just like, yeah.
So your graduation was just like 30 minutes, not even?
So what they do for graduation, because 12 people, like,
right.
like what are you gonna do? Just have them come down the aisle? Thank you. Like
just
literally
throw
10
this
minutes
massive
long.
event for like maybe 50 people to show up.
What they do is they have everybody write a speech. Yeah.
So you're a senior in high school and you're giving a valedictorian speech?
Yeah, you have to give a 10-minute speech.
10 minutes?
Yeah, or so. It was like 5 or 10 or something. I think it was like you could choose in between 5 or 10. Everybody had to give a speech, and everybody got like a walk-up song. My song was "Ain't Nothing Gonna Break My Stride, Ain't Nothing Gonna Slow Me."
That's such a young Porterfield song.
I walked up to the song and I gave my 10-minute speech, which was a banger.
Banging speech.
And then at the end,
we need footage.
I'll try to find it.
We need receipts.
We need receipts. I promise.
We're gonna post it.
Okay, I got you. But no, I mean, yeah, small school, and so I'm used to smaller groups of people, and just like kind of keeping those people close to me. And
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had a really good childhood, and I think I get a lot of my work ethic from my parents. They're very hard workers. My mom is one of the hardest workers I know.
Yeah.
That school I went to was pretty expensive. So
what does she do?
She's a realtor. So she was, before that she was kind of just like a at-home mom. Occasionally she would make like bandanas and like hats and stuff and like sell them to
like
just
Etsy
try to make
kind of.
Yeah, just to try to like make some money. She'd do art shows. Yeah, and then that school happened, and so she became a realtor, and she did really good at that.
Did she have experience in real estate before becoming a realtor?
She did not, but she
That's crazy.
had experience in like public relations. She was a public relations student, so she's
good
very good at networking, talking.
Crazy.
So it worked very well for her. Now she's very successful at that. So she's one of the hardest workers I know.
Congrats to her. Was she a part of a company and then became an independent realtor? I know that's like a lot of times how. Yeah. From what I know about real estate, you start off at a firm or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like as you kind of get better at your craft, you branch off and just kind of do your own thing.
Well, so I think how Yes. So essentially, I think you have to join like a brokerage, like a main parent company, and then there's like teams sometimes inside of those, and like the benefit is that you work with the team and you get referrals and whatever.
Okay.
So I think she worked with the team for a while.
Yeah.
And then I think she was at like one team, and she's just like it was messy.
Yeah.
And then now she's doing her own thing, and she also can. She just can. She gets enough clients at this point. So
like
she's slaying the house down. Boots.
Shout out Andy. Shout out Andy.
So
that's cool. That's really cool to hear.
Yeah.
And like how old was she when she started back, into the realtor world? I mean, it sounds like you were like...
That was when I was in 4th grade.
Okay.
Like, it was pretty much immediately when I started going to private school. She was like, well, we can't afford that.
Yeah.
So she's like, we're going to need 2 incomes.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, even just like later in life, just starting up and...
Yeah. I mean, she worked, throughout time. She worked at the White House at one point.
Oh,
that's
goodness.
pretty cool.
Oh,
so...
gosh.
She had work experience, but
the Mama Porterfield lore is...
Yeah, Mama Porterfield. she done something.
There's lore.
There's lore.
There's background there.
There's lore. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
She sounds like a fun person.
She's fun. And I definitely got a lot of my work aspects from her.
Okay.
So I'm
cool.
push myself to think about her.
Yeah, I mean, both my parents worked my whole life. My, me and my 2 siblings, my 2 sisters, the only boy, the youngest child.
Poor Dylan.
I know, 2 older sisters to bully me throughout childhood. But no, I mean, they both needed to work. That's just kind of how the world is now. You can't really survive on just the one income unless you're making crazy money, especially if you have kids.
Yeah.
Especially if you have kids.
It's rough out here.
It's rough.
I'm scared.
But yeah, no, they both worked, all through my life. My dad was a mechanic, was a field technician mechanic for Nicor, if you know Nicor, the gas company.
Yeah.
He worked on a lot of their equipment and would do road calls, would work. He worked the second shift a lot, so he was coming home at, 12:30, midnight, just because they had to fluctuate their schedules, when someone had to be there for us in the mornings when we went to school, and then someone had to be there for us in the evenings when we got back, right?
Yeah.
And so my mom would work that, 7 to 3, 8 to 4 kind of time window, and then he'd work that 4 to midnight, 3 to 11 window. And so, they had to make it work, but they were great parents. They are great parents, not were. And you learn, you kind of absorb a lot of what your parents give you, and you kind of branch off into your own thing. But a lot of those core values
100%.
come from there.
Yeah,
as long as they're good parents, they're good people.
Growing up, I think everything we get is just from them, and
and like as you grow up and you kind of go through those like high school years,
right,
and you become rebellious and you're whatever, right?
Ooh, like my friends are doing this, I want to do that. So yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Was
100%.
Mom or dad, any of them in something kind of like what you're doing today, like media-esque, or is
no,
this...
not at all. Which is really, really interesting. Like I said, my dad was a mechanic, so blue collar work, right? Got his hourly, worked his overtime, very traditional blue collar man.
Yeah.
My mom was in banking when I was younger, and like before I was born even, right? And then her bank got bought out by another bank from like Texas, and they like closed her branch, and so she wasn't working for a little while. But then she started up at Aurora University, where I went. Yeah. My oldest sister was able to go to school and get her tuition covered there because Aurora University provided tuition benefits to its workers. So if you worked there and you had kids that needed to go through college, they could go to AU and get their tuition covered by the university. I did that for my first 2 years, and then I transferred here. But yeah, she's still working there now. My dad retired a good few years ago. I want to say it was like before COVID even. He's been retired for a while now, but just enjoying his retired life.
Yeah, good. Dude, that's the dream.
He needed it. He earned it. Well-deserved retirement.
Really hard,
I mean, yeah, we worked with Nicor since he was probably my age. And he worked there for 35 years.
Wow.
So
That's some loyalty.
He deserved it. He deserved that retirement.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
But yeah.
So we're in UND right now.
We are at UND. We're on the third floor.
We're on the third floor of Esch Hall.
In case you didn't know.
That's crazy. We both came from. I mean, I guess I'm from Carmel, but you're from
different
Illinois,
sides of the world. I mean, if you're coming from Maryland.
Yeah.
I'm coming from Chicago area.
I could have still been in Maryland.
We met in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, and now we're here. So, I guess that we've kind of talked about this. So, what brought you to UND?
What brought me to UND?
The third floor of Esch.
The third floor of Esch. Well, the University of Indianapolis is in the same council of independent colleges as my previous university, Aurora University, was in, right? And so, kind of just like strange, just out of nowhere, out of left field. I hadn't really talked to either of my parents about transferring schools, but I was just independently looking into it. And this was really early on into my search for schools. I was looking like, all right, well, I gotta apply to these places and get scholarships and like try and get some of that tuition, knocked off. Because up till now, I had been getting college for free because I was going to AU and like I said. So she sent me this just article, and it's just this website of like the Council of Independent Colleges and how, if you're in this council, you're in this circle of colleges, your tuition benefits transfer with you. Yeah. And so I'm like, bingo. I want my free college because why wouldn't you? It's a no-brainer, right? But I still want to study what I want within sports communication, sports media, sports journalism, right? And so I go on this website and it's just a map of the US and it's, I kid you not, hundreds of little dots all over the country. And so, then I set my kind of criteria of like, okay, what do I need? I don't want to be in some random, just middle of nowhere cornfield, right? That's what a lot of the schools are. Yeah. They are just in the middle of nowhere, southern Indiana, not even like Bloomington. I mean, like, I kid you not, you drive down I-65 and you just stop somewhere. Yeah. Like, boom, there's a school. It's like, what? So what is that? So, and a lot of these are smaller schools, smaller private schools, private Christian Catholic universities is what this council is, right? And so I wanted to be in some kind of market, some kind of city, right? It needed to have sports communication, sports media, sports journalism, what I wanted to do, right? Yeah. And I was willing to travel and like go East Coast, West Coast, wherever. I mean, I'm kind of right in the middle there in Chicago, so I'm kind of equidistant either way. But ideally, like my parents were like, I don't want you to go too far. Mm-hmm. And so, just clicking my dots and seeing what things are, and University of Indianapolis, crossed my list. And I mean, when I tell you I was searching for months on this site and just looking at every single school, searching the academics, searching the programs, undergrad programs, whatever. I mean, it's like the back of my head. I was looking for months at where I could go and what they offered.
Was this school like one of the ones that you just kept coming back to, or was it just like instant, like, yes?
It was one of the only schools, believe it or not, that met all of my criterias of in some kind of market with sports, right? Indianapolis has tons of sports and athletics. It offered the program that I wanted with a good comm department like we have here and sports communications on top of that. And then it also wasn't like super, super far away. And so between like here, there was a school out in like New York, and there was a school down towards like Jacksonville, Florida. I was kind of narrowed down to those three, and this is what I ended up settling on. And I don't want to say settled because this is a great school, but I mean, it's been great ever since.
Perfect.
So what brought you to UND? Obviously, the Carmel boy. Yeah. Why didn't you go to? I mean, you said obviously you liked the smaller school feel, right? So why not a Marion? Why not a IUPUI even? I mean, I know they're not like massive, but they're not as small as we are here.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was between two schools, and that was here or Ball State.
Ball State, all the way down in Louisville.
Not Louisville, Muncie.
Muncie,
okay. Indiana.
Okay.
So that's another big school, but class sizes are about actually equal the
Okay.
year. So, part of me really did want to go to Ball State, and they do have a fantastic communication department. But my parents really wanted me to go to UND, and I think it's just because, and I agree with them. It's close to home, but like far enough where it's like a 40-minute drive, and so it's like I feel far, but like I'm also like not actually in the middle of nowhere like Ball State is.
It's reasonable to go home on the weekends.
It's reasonable, so if I ever need anything, and I think that definitely felt comfortable for me freshman year, and then also the small classes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just something about UND also just felt like kind of right. Like when I was on campus, it didn't feel like, I don't know, like weird and like I wasn't supposed to be here.
I mean, the vibe is the vibe.
The vibe was vibing, and when I went to like Ball State, I don't know, it just felt like not the vibe. And so I mean, like
it's weird to vocalize that kind of feeling where you're like, this just isn't right for whatever reason, and like sometimes you just gotta listen to that.
Yeah, and I'm glad I did, because I think ultimately what I would have done at Ball State probably would have been good, but I don't think I would have had the opportunities I've had here because of the programs we have where you can quite literally do practically anything if you want to make it happen. Yeah. And I feel like I've made a lot of happen here, so I'm very happy.
And the professors and the program and the department supports you doing what you want to pursue. I mean, obviously within reason, right? But they support what you want to do.
100%.
So, no, I agree. I mean, I liked the smaller schools. Obviously, that's kind of all that was in the council was all kind of these smaller 5,000 to 10,000 school size schools. So, I mean, I've seen big schools. I've seen Ohio State. I recently went down and visited my friend at Texas. And these camps, I mean, they're huge.
They're huge.
And unless you're that guy, you know, and you step foot day one, freshman year, and you're immediately just like, the path you want to be on, and the steps you have to take. Yeah. Those are great. If you know what you want to do coming out of college, and like you're not going to change your mind, it's ideal to go to a bigger school because you know what you want to do. You can immediately set yourself out, and you could start climbing that ladder of, priority.
Yeah. And I think we kind of talked about this at the beginning where you can kind of like lay low, but like my cousin, she goes to University of Tennessee.
Okay, go Bulls.
And and she's in like a design program, and I saw a picture of everyone in that design program. Dude, it has to be like
thousands.
Yeah. It was like literally a building. Yeah. 3 stories tall, and then everybody was like lined up, bro. Which is crazy.
Which is really cool.
It's cool, but arguably coming here, you don't have the option to lay low like you can there. Like you can quite literally go there and nobody knows you. You can show up to class. Yep. I mean, you're the same major as everybody else, but nobody really knows you. Here, everybody's gonna get to know you. Yeah. You're forced. Practically be forced to apply yourself. Yeah. And I don't necessarily think I needed that. I think I would have done it anyway. But it's still nice to be part of a program where that is what you do. And
you don't have to fight.
You don't have to fight
to stick out.
No.
Right? You're not competing against others for that spot when there's so much opportunity for anybody to do anything. Yeah. Right? I mean, there's just so much opportunity and ample support.
Yes. Lots of it.
I agree.
I love small schools, so and UND is pretty great.
I mean, obviously you loved your little private, 12-person graduation. I, on the other hand, went to a high school that's probably the same size as this college. Yeah. I had like 5,000 students in my high school.
I mean, it's one
of the biggest schools in Illinois, at least.
Yeah.
In high school, so it just feels the same, a little bit.
And I'm sure you could argue for each side that one's better than the other. Yeah. I definitely came to UND and I was like very not social and had like no friends because I just didn't know how to make friends because I had the same friends forever. Yeah. And then like you probably were able to be like, okay, well now I'm just gonna make more friends like I've been doing forever, or at least it might have been a little easier because there was just so many people. for me, it's just like, whoa.
So in high school, I was a little bit of like a social butterfly, right? Being in lots of programs, being in marching band, being in band. I mean, there's instantly like when you're in marching band, at least our marching band, we had like 120 students.
Yeah. In
our band, kind of average throughout my years, right? You instantly have 120 friends, right? Because if you're a marching band, you recognize others, and you're instantly cool, right?
Yeah.
With each other, not cool, because I know marching band has its shtick, but you know, there's cool band kids, and then there's weird band kids, but so I was just a social butterfly, and I was constantly like in the hallways, everybody be like, "Hey, Dylan, what's up? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Who are you?" I don't know your name. So sorry, but it was just like, you know, a lot of people knew me, a lot of people knew of me, and so jumping from that, graduating, and then jumping into college, where like you don't know anybody. Yeah. You know, it's a really, really stark difference. And like my friends, my good friends from high school, I still know, and I still keep up with a lot of them. But, you know, transferring here was even more of that. I didn't know anybody here. And, you know, I got here day one, and I got to my apartment the day before, you know, classes started. And I was instantly like, oh, I don't know anybody here. And so it was a lot of growing, a lot of, I don't want to say struggle, but like, you know, learning to appreciate your own, you know, company and being okay being on your own. And then, you know, over time you start to find people that you're good with.
That's very interesting to hear, because, you know, I did come from that small school, and just like you, I felt so weird coming here, but not like you. I had barely no friends in high school. I mean, I had my 12 friends. Yeah. So, you know, it's very interesting to hear you say that, and just like, because I felt the same way. I was just like, you know, I guess I'm just going to have to be okay with being alone for right now. And no. So I think a lot of people probably feel that way. Yeah.
And like, for those that are feeling that way, and for those that maybe don't have that awesome friend circle, maybe you're brand new somewhere and you don't know anybody, I mean, just kind of be around. You know, that was my thing, is I was just around all the time, and anybody that ever asked me to help with a TV broadcast and go on this and help with that, I was always saying yes. You know, and so instantly you start building that credibility of someone who is reliable and someone who's always down to do whatever. Yeah. So I had nothing else to do.
And I think we have, you know, I mean, this is a podcast for commies. So
for commies.
If you're, you know, one of those people like I was who just doesn't know how they're going to make friends here, I mean, you just got to like,
just hang out in the management office. Just sit in the couch, and someone's going to come around.
Like, it seems scary because they're like, these are like upperclassmen and management. Like, this is scary. Guys, we're like all on the same boat.
We're all like you.
we all think about how like terrible these assignments are, and like how stressed we are, and like
we're all trying to figure this out. And so and we all came from that boat where like, you know, you walk into college and maybe you don't have somebody that you know started school here with, right? Maybe you don't have somebody from your high school or from your hometown. Maybe you came from Maryland and you're brand new in a brand new place. You don't know anything about Indianapolis. Yeah. You'll learn to love the city, and you'll learn to find your group. And my biggest thing is just be around. Don't hide away in your room.
Yes.
And just do whatever you can to be around others, because that helped me a lot.
I made that mistake my freshman year. I would go to class and go hide in my room. Yep. And I definitely suffered because of that. Yeah. And as soon as I started actually applying myself and just doing a little bit more, that's when I started making friends. So
instantly.
I mean, you literally just be around. You don't even necessarily need to talk. People involve you. People on this floor are very nice. Yeah. So you'll become part of the conversation quickly. For sure. Wow.
I have nothing else on my little paper. Okay. I'm out of questions. I have one more question for you though. Yeah. And I think that we're figuring out how this podcast works. We're figuring out what we like, what we don't like. We'll watch this episode back and figure out what we want to keep. Yeah. What we want to ask guests. We kind of have a format. Yeah. Of what we like, but I love this question because I've recently been doing a lot of reflecting, a lot of journaling, a lot of, daily journaling. I want to ask you, what is one thing that every single day you can rely on that brings a smile to your face? What is one thing that every single day, without fail, within your control, you can do or you can see that you're like, yeah, awesome, cool.
I like that question.
Yeah.
I do have to
What's
ask
one thing
a
that makes you
follow-up,
happy?
though.
Okay.
Is this my whole life, or is this just as of lately, like as of what I have been?
What can you
lately?
do tomorrow, 100% guaranteed, right? What will you have tomorrow that's going to make you happy? Obviously, like, every day is not guaranteed and whatever, but when you wake up tomorrow morning, knock on wood, when you wake up tomorrow morning, what are you going to see? What are you going to do that you're going to be like,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's people,
Okay.
like just going to something, to classes, to applies, and just like talking to people and creating stuff. I mean, that's what we do here. Creating something always makes me feel so good.
Yeah.
And especially seeing that payoff from what I created, it's always the best.
Seeing the product in front of you unfold as you're making it.
And so every day, I try to create something, and sometimes it might be as silly as I'm going to do my homework. But
I'm going to create a better grade.
Yeah, but when I do it, man, does it
Gratification.
feel good. So
Yeah.
creating anything, even if it's just filling in the homework sheet,
Yeah.
it feels good.
Ticking things off the to-do list, if you
Yes.
will. Yeah.
So
I get
fulfilling.
that. I get that.
How about you?
I recently, I am a clearance section fiend. I love me a clearance section, right? I don't leave a store without searching the racks, searching the shelves of the clearance section. I got this little plant. It's a little can, grow a little plant kit.
Yeah.
Right? And it sits on my little windowsill. And recently, I kid you not, one day it's just dirt, right? And I'm just watering it. I got a little spray bottle and I'm just spraying the dirt, right?
Yeah.
I'm okay, cool. And I open the blinds and it gives me an excuse to open my blinds. Very underrated, opening your blinds. I'm a dark person.
Yeah.
I love my my dark setting. I like I just turn my lamp on in my room and it's bright enough for me, but I know it's not bright enough for anybody else, right?
Yeah.
I never use the big light, always the little lamp, always my little string lights.
I'm the same way.
But it just gives me an excuse to have to open my blinds because this little plant can't live off of my lamp, right? This little plant needs sunlight. It needs light, so I'm forced to open my blinds, and it's just being just bright and sunny. It's okay, cool. But recently, I got some little plants sprouting in my little can. I'm like, yeah, heck yeah. And so it's just cool. I look at it every day and I'm like, there's my plant. you go little plant.
I love
so
that.
It's gonna be a beautiful little, I think they're poppies. And it's just a handful of seeds in this little can. It was $5 at Walmart. I was like, I'm gonna get that. My little plant.
Dude, I'm so
every
happy.
day I see my little plant and I water it I don't know, probably 3-4 times a week. Not every day. But
Yeah.
I just dump a little water in there and I'm like, yeah.
I'm so happy that you have your little plant.
My little
Dylan.
plant.
That's a really good thing.
We need a name for my plant.
We need to name your plant.
I'll bring my plant in.
Okay.
I'll bring it. I'll put it right here.
Right there. Right there.
We're building
it
the
can
set.
become part. Yeah. Piece by piece.
Piece by
Dylan.
piece.
Plant
Plant
by
by
plant. We same minds. Same
Boom.
minds.
Amazing.
Well, I think that's it.
You want to send them?
I think we're going to send them. Guys, thank you so much for watching the first ever podcast, Third Floor Esch.
Third Floor Esch.
We'll check you guys out soon.
Soon.
We'll have an interview. We'll have a guest.
We'll have a guest. Next episode. That is the idea, is we're having guests on. We're having the comm department.
Yeah.
Come be on the podcast.
I'm so excited. So stay tuned. You'll see who it is. We're really excited. And thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.